Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here with the best teeth in the game, coming at you with another edition of Let's Argue, where I go over your hot takes, your unpopular opinions, your tough questions on social media. I pick out the ones worth responding to and I respond to them. That's literally what we're doing right here, right now. Let's do it. Music actually ain't that hard to make. Absolutely this. It is not that hard to make. And this is what I try to argue to people when we are stuck on these ridiculous questions and quandaries about, should I be making music, blah, 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 blah. Why not? It's not that hard. Give it a shot. Give it a try. I happen to like music from this really problematic artist. What does that say about me? What does this mean? I don't know. It just means that dirtbag just made some good, compelling music. It's not hard to make music. Literally anybody can make music. You can even make music if you're a terrible person. Sure, there are certain compositional styles or genres or play styles within music that are more difficult to make or execute than others, but that is not the entryway for music. That is not the definition of music or what makes music. Music is consciously organized sound with artistic intent. That is my definition of it. That is what I think logically is music. And through whichever way you organize whatever sounds you are organizing with whatever artistic intent you have, that you are making music. Whether you're recording it or doing it live or whatever you're making it with, you're making music. You're doing it. Good for you. Canada is real. But you know what isn't real? New Zealand. You know, I've always had a sneaking suspicion because if that is New Zealand, where's the old Zealand? That was funny. That was very funny. That was very funny. That was a funny joke. That was very funny. I like how funny that was. This decade goes from 2011 to 2020, not 2010 to 2019. That is so not the case. That is so not accurate. Especially since when people refer to decades, they call them the 1970s, the 1980s, the aughts. They don't call them the 2001s or the 1951s or the 1971s. That's not how it works. Explain with a picture from my Needle Drop Music page on Rate Your Music with Baja Men, Who Let the Dogs Out. I rated it a 0.5 star. I have said that is one of the worst songs of that decade, and I even put it in my worst songs of my adolescence list. It's a terrible song. I don't get what needs to be explained here. It's a bad song. I will defend my position on that song being piss until I hit the grave. Listening to singles for an upcoming album ruins some of the album listening experience. It can, but I think there are creative ways to go about it so that it doesn't. Take, for example, Kendrick Lamar's I, the studio version single of that song, and then the live version that actually made it on to Pimp a Butterfly was really cool. Very much a surprise. I think if an album has a concept or a theme or a story, you can hear singles or teaser tracks in a new light or a new context when you hear them with the rest of the record and the rest of the songs. And I think that, you know, it's not a bad thing to tease toward the release of a record with 1 or 2 songs. It's not a bad thing. It's not a terrible thing. I don't think that's enough music to really spoil the album listening experience, especially if those songs do stand on their own as singles, as single songs. Should Hero be banned from competitive Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Yeah, I get that some of the mechanics that go into the Hero character are kind of random and a little unfair, not only in terms of the magic, but the critical hits, which could come at any time. It does seem sort of ridiculous, but I personally, from going online and doing numerous matches with a handful of different characters against hero after hero after hero after hero, and I'm personally in Elite Smash, so I'm not running into any heroes that are absolutely garbage. They're not that difficult to manage. You know, there are some workarounds and some ways to avoid some of the more janky and broken tricks in the hero toolkit. Some of those critical hits are unfair, yes, absolutely yes, but they're not getting great magic tricks all the time, every time, number one. Number two, Hero's frame data and Hero's neutral is absolutely garbage. If you are a fast character, if you are a character that applies a lot of pressure, if you're a character that will not let Hero breathe to the extent that they can't charge up, they can't get a magic trick out, that player is going to have a very hard time dealing with a really great Captain Falcon with a good neutral, a very great Sheik with a good neutral. Sure, every once in a while you're going to have a hero doing some crazy self-destruct type crap that just gives them a really unfair advantage, but look, you just got to be careful and play smart, which has honestly been the answer to winning Smash always. So just be careful, just play smart. Foo Fighters are literally the only good post-grunge band to ever exist. Yes, I'm just gonna say yes. I can't really think of a better one. Nickelback, Creed. I mean, I'm trying to think of other ones that are as popular as Foo Fighters, but were as good, if not better, and there really aren't. Foo Fighters is really the only post-grunge band that is worth a damn, and that's honestly only because Dave Grohl is so good, and I think that he was in the most essential grunge band of all time, so bit of an unfair advantage there, I would say. My English teacher says you aren't a credible critic due to your comedic presentation sometimes. Are you a credible music critic? I'm credible insofar as I am giving my honest opinion, and you can trust me to credibly give you my opinion. I don't think my credibility extends to anything else, frankly. It's not like I'm an institution here. I'm not a library. I haven't heard every album and I can't review every record. And yes, I do get that sometimes I am a bit silly and I am a bit shitposty, but you know, life is too short to be serious all the fucking time. And on top of it, this is kind of a ridiculous standard because, I mean, are we to say that anything that comedy is added into is instantaneously delegitimized because we perceive for some arbitrary reason that comedy doesn't belong there? Like if somebody writes comedic music, if somebody writes a comedic play or a comedic movie, or I don't know, throws a joke into a chemistry book, are they like less of a chemist or any other thing in their field because they were funny, because they were comedic, because they applied comedy? I don't think so. And where is the line drawn here? How comedic is too comedic? Are you telling me that like throughout the entire catalog of Robert Christgau, there's not one or two reviews where he's like cracked a joke or said something funny or said something ironic or been a little tongue-in-cheek? So how comedic is too comedic? I mean, I guess maybe there is a line there, but you know, it's not like I come on camera to talk about albums like I mean, I do have a silly, you know, character guy in the corner of my videos over there, Mr. Caltruchesta, but I'm not over here slipping on banana peels. Slowed and reverbed songs are trash. God, is this a thing now? First we had the 8D audio and now people are just slowing songs down and adding reverb. That's just a step or two away from vaporwave. How is that not just vaporwave? We've already done that. Brushing your teeth twice a day is not enough. I think it can and it can't be. It depends on what your diet is and what you eat. Because if throughout the day you're constantly eating processed foods, sugary foods, sodas, candy bars, cookies, stuff with a lot of refined sugars in it, yeah, most likely brushing twice a day is not going to be enough. But if you eat a pretty clean diet that doesn't have a whole lot of processed sugars in it, then you should be fine. Twitter's light mode is better than dark mode. The navy blue is ugly as F. I agree. God, it is so ugly. Look, I get why some people may be attracted to dark mode. Maybe they think it looks cool because it's opposite. Maybe the light mode hurts their eyes if they look at Twitter for too long, but I just turn the light on my phone down. Like I just turn all the way down on my phone so that sometimes I turn the night shift mode on my phone so that when that's on, the light coming from the phone is a bit warmer and not as straining to the eyes. So yeah. But maybe that's not even why people do night mode. I really have no idea. I just think it's ugly. Why you give more attention to singular bad tracks / albums than good tracks / albums during list week? I mean, I make one worst albums video, I make one worst singles video, and I make one great singles video, and I make one great albums video, and I stack way more great albums and singles into the great albums and singles videos than I do the worst albums and singles videos. I mean, I will agree during the week that these videos come out, there is more of a flood of views toward the negative videos than the positive videos, but that's on you guys. I would actually prefer it if you watched the more positive lists first and more primarily gave those more priority than the worst lists. But I don't know, you guys like negativity, I guess. You guys like negativity. So basically this tweet is actually for you. This tweet's for you. Why? 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 Your violent sleep of reason review is strongly disliked by Gent and Meshuggah fans. If the target audience of a review strongly disagrees with it, doesn't it then fail its purpose? It's like telling pyromaniacs that something flammable is lame. I think you're making a bit of a leap of logic here in assuming what the intended audience is for a particular review. I don't make reviews for Gent fans or even fans of any one band or artist specifically for that band or artist. I don't make it for that group of diehards to like or agree with or see the merit in, because if you pander to the fan base of any one genre or artist, you could argue that most records are like an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Personally, I think that's a really lazy and reductive way of going about analyzing and appreciating art, that it basically showcases and executes passably whatever the lowest common denominator factors are that appeal most largely to the group of people that enjoy that artist or enjoy that sound, that genre, that scene. When I'm reviewing an album, I'm not reviewing it just to be like, oh yeah, this Death Grips or this JPEG Mafia album or this Brockhampton album is really good as a Brockhampton album. No, I'm reviewing that record from my personal view of, this is a really compelling album across the platform, across the spectrum of popular music. Okay, I'm in my own mind rating or ranking or comparing my enjoyability factor, my positive or negative experience against the positive and negative experiences I've had with records from across the genre spectrum. So I guess you could say I failed to appeal to the Gent community. I failed the Meshuggah community, but that is by design. I didn't come in here trying to win over Gent fans. I didn't come in trying to win over Meshuggah fans when I did those reviews. I do tons of hip-hop reviews, and there are loads of people still to this day that fucking hate me in the hip-hop community. Wish I was dead. Wish I would stop. Think I'm like the worst thing to ever happen to music. And that's partially because, yeah, I don't wish to pander to fans of a genre. I'm not going to tell fans of a genre what they want to hear just because I know that they want to hear it. I'm going to say how I feel about a particular thing, and you agree with me or you don't agree with me, and that's it. You didn't review Gmail and the restraining orders properly because you didn't like it. I mean, if I didn't like it, I would have told you that in the video where I was going over what happened in it, but I didn't really properly review it because it's not a proper Death Grips album. Like, nobody's buying that record or downloading it or streaming it. It's like just been put up online. I don't get where this idea is coming from, that what you think of some kind of ulterior motive with why I talked about the album in the way that I did. Because why? Like, what would the reasoning be that I'm afraid of Death Grips fans if I give a negative opinion of a Death Grips album? Oh my God. Look, here's my opinion on that. Fuck Death Grips fans. Fuck them. If they can't handle a negative opinion I have on a Death Grips project, then they're pussy, okay? Well, and that's just is what it is. And everyone, I think I'm going to leave it at that. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. That has been this latest episode of Let's Argue. I love you. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Yes, yes, yes. Anthony Fantano, Let's Argue forever.